Ever felt like you've just stumbled into a whole new digital world? Yeah, full of exciting possibilities, but also a few confusing, maybe even slightly shady corners. Our listener today shared exactly that feeling diving into crypto, finding a specific coin, and suddenly seeing things like Trump coins and Melania coins. It's definitely an eye-opener. Makes you realize you're kind of on a frontier. So today, we're doing a deep dive into that very frontier, specifically focusing on the Coinbase Wallet. We're going to try and untangle its place in the whole crypto ecosystem, clarify that really critical difference between, say, a centralized exchange and true self-custody, and hopefully arm you with the knowledge to navigate this space a bit more safely and with more confidence.
Yeah, absolutely. Our mission for this session really is to cut through some of that confusion and build up that confidence. We'll lay out the essential distinctions, highlight some critical security points, and give you the insights you need to make informed choices. And, hopefully avoid some of those common pitfalls in this, let's face it, fast-moving world of digital assets.
Right. And to guide us, we've got a good stack of sources. There's that really candid Reddit thread where a new user was asking for help trying to get their head around the Coinbase wallet. That's super valuable. Plus, expert articles from places like UToday, CoinLedger, Coinbase itself, Kryptonite UA, Investopedia, and BitGet. So, pretty comprehensive view, I think.
Yeah, good mix.
Okay, let's unpack this core distinction first. Our listener got into Coinbase Wallet because a specific coin needed it. But for someone new, it can be genuinely confusing. What is the Coinbase Wallet, fundamentally? And how is it different from just having, a regular account on Coinbase? They both have Coinbase right there in the name.
That's a huge point of confusion, and it's totally understandable. So think of it like this. Coinbase, the company, the main platform, that's primarily a centralized exchange, or CEX. That's usually where you first buy, sell, trade crypto. Now, when your crypto is on the Coinbase exchange, Coinbase is managing the private keys for you. It's kind of like a bank holding your money. They custody it, which is convenient, right? They handle a lot of the security stuff. But, and this is the key part, you don't have direct, absolute control over those specific crypto assets on the blockchain itself.
Okay, so they're holding it for me like a digital vault keeper.
Exactly. Now, the Coinbase wallet, that's a completely separate thing. It's what we call a self-custody hot wallet. And the real insight here isn't just that you hold your keys, but what it represents. It's a philosophical shift, really. You're moving from trusting an institution, like Coinbase the exchange, to embracing, radical financial self-sovereignty. You hold the private keys. No one else, not even Coinbase, can touch your funds without your unique recovery phrase. This gives you that full control, which is a core idea in crypto, but it also means you bear the full, unmitigated responsibility for keeping it safe.
Full responsibility.
Yep. So if the exchange is like a digital bank account or investment platform holding assets sort of pooled together, the Coinbase wallet is your own personal digital strongbox. You hold the keys. Absolute control, but also, absolute responsibility.
That's a powerful idea, that absolute control, self-sovereignty. Sounds great. But isn't it true that for most people starting out, the simplicity, maybe the perceived safety of a centralized exchange is more appealing, even with less control? I mean, holding your own keys sounds, frankly, a bit daunting.
Oh, you're absolutely right. For many, maybe most newcomers, the convenience and that familiar sense of security you get with a CEX like Coinbase is very attractive. They handle passwords, they have customer service, they take on a lot of that technical weight. Self-custody, it's a big step. It demands a deeper understanding and, a commitment to personal responsibility, which is why education is just so critical. You really need to understand both the power and the potential pitfalls before you jump into managing your own keys.
Okay, so let's dig into those private keys then. You've mentioned them a few times. What exactly are they? Why is holding them yourself such a massive deal? It sounds like the ultimate weight on your shoulders. And how does this recovery phrase fit in? Is that the same thing?
Great question. This is absolutely fundamental to crypto. So private keys, they're essentially these long, secret alphanumeric codes. Think of them as the master passwords. They're what grant you access to your specific crypto assets. Now, remember, your crypto isn't in the wallet like cash in your pocket. It lives on the blockchain, which is like this huge, public, unchangeable digital ledger, right?
Right, the public ledger.
Your private keys are the only way to unlock and control your specific address, your little piece of that ledger. Now, if you lose those private keys, or more commonly, if you lose your recovery phrase.
The recovery phrase.
Yeah, the recovery phrase, which is usually a sequence of 12 or 24 ordinary words, is what can mathematically regenerate all your private keys if you lose access to the wallet device itself. If you lose that recovery phrase and you lose access to your wallet, you lose your crypto. Permanently.
Permanently, wow.
Yeah, there's no forgot password link, no customer service helpline to get it back, it's gone. It sounds stark, I know, but that's what enables that true financial independence and the transparency of the system. Control comes with responsibility.
Understanding that profound responsibility really highlights how different this is. And speaking of change, the Coinbase Wallet itself, it wasn't always called that, right? Feels like names and products shift really fast in the crypto space.
That's right, it wasn't. It actually launched back in 2017 as Toshi. Back then, it was focused mainly on the Ethereum ecosystem, mostly functioning as a way to interact with dApps on your phone, like a mobile dApp browser.
Toshi, yeah.
Yeah. Then in August 2018, they rebranded it to Coinbase Wallet, obviously to align better with the main Coinbase brand. And since then, it's evolved a lot. It went from just being that dApp browser to a much more comprehensive multi-chain wallet. They've even recently introduced things like smart wallet features, trying to simplify key management using biometrics or hardware keys, maybe even moving away from needing those traditional seed phrases eventually.
Interesting. So back to our listeners' experience, seeing those Trump coins, Melania coins, and having that instant realization this coming grift is going to be, is already happening. That insight seems spot on. Because beyond just the wallet tech, navigating the sheer volume of speculative tokens and, let's be honest, outright scams, that seems like maybe the biggest challenge for newcomers.
It absolutely can feel like chaos out there, and that observation about the grift is, unfortunately, very perceptive. These political coins you mentioned, and many, many others like them, often fall into the category of meme coins. Now, meme coins, like, for example, the Toshi token, which runs on Coinbase's own Base blockchain.
Base, that's Coinbase's own chain.
Yeah, it's an Ethereum layer 2, designed to make transactions faster and cheaper by processing them off the main Ethereum chain, essentially. Anyway, these meme coins, they mostly get their value from community hype, online trends, social media buzz, not really from any underlying utility or tech.
So pure speculation, basically.
Largely, yes. And the risk is huge. Influencers might pump them up, easy money, get rich quick, but often it becomes a trap. New investors jump in, drive the price up, and then they become the exit liquidity for the early holders who cash out, leaving the newcomers holding worthless bags.
Ouch. Exit liquidity. That sounds brutal.
It can be. And it's not just meme coins. The wider crypto space, especially around decentralized applications or apps, is unfortunately just full of scams. We're talking classic Ponzi schemes, fake initial coin offerings, ICOs, really sophisticated phishing attacks, trying to trick you into giving up your keys or recovery phrase, malicious software.
So it's dangerous.
The data is pretty sobering. In 2022, dApps were hit by something like 312 hacks and vulnerabilities. Losses were staggering around $48 billion.
Billion with a B.
With a B. Now, thankfully, the financial losses dropped significantly in 2023, down to about $1.9 billion. That's progress. But, and this is important, the frequency of hacks actually increased by over 17%. And just in the first quarter of 2024, losses were still over $400 million. So yeah, it's a landscape that demands extreme vigilance and a healthy dose of skepticism.
Those numbers are just, wow. It really hammers home why that learn first idea isn't just advice, it's like financial self-preservation. So if you're feeling burned, maybe like our listener was with Litecoin years ago, that classic buy high, sell low pain, how do you avoid those moments? How do you find the so-called real projects? And when experts say, stay with the top 20 or so cryptos, isn't that playing it a bit too safe for people hoping for that big transformative crypto growth?
You've really hit on a critical tension there. The absolute number one piece of advice has to be learn first before you invest. Seriously. Most newcomers lose money precisely because they dive in without enough knowledge. It's an expensive way to learn.
Right. Learn first.
Beyond that, risk management is everything. Never, ever invest more than you can truly afford to lose. Like actually lose, poof, gone.
Get sensible.
Now, that advice about sticking to the top 20 or so, it comes from a place of risk reduction. These larger, more established projects generally have more development behind them, wider adoption, they've survived market cycles, they're less likely to just vanish overnight. But you're right, the allure of smaller coins, the potential 100x moonshot is undeniable. That's often what draws people in.
Exactly.
But those smaller coins come with exponentially higher risk. As one user on that Reddit thread put it quite bluntly, after getting burned, you tend not to buy highly speculative or low utility tokens anymore. You learn. It's really about balancing that potential reward with a level of risk you are genuinely comfortable with and understanding market cycles, researching individual projects deeply. That's crucial for long-term success, not just chasing the latest pump.
Okay, that makes sense. Balancing risk. Let's circle back to the Coinbase wallet itself then. What are its standout features? How does it actually make interacting with this whole decentralized internet thing, these apps, easier? Or maybe more appealing than other options? We've talked about dApps being risky, but maybe we should quickly clarify what these things are that we keep mentioning.
Excellent point. Let's nail down dApps first. So decentralized applications, or dApps, think of them as software programs like apps on your phone. But instead of running on a single company's server, like Google's or Apple's, they run on a blockchain or a peer-to-peer network. What makes them really different, and kind of the core of this whole Web3 idea, is that they're collectively controlled by their users, not one single authority.
Controlled by users.
Usually through governance tokens or other mechanisms. They're typically open source, meaning anyone can see the code. They're transparent. They're designed to resist censorship. They use things called smart contracts, which are like self-executing contracts with the terms written directly into code to allow people to interact directly peer-to-peer without needing a middleman.
Okay, so cutting out the middleman, what's the big benefit?
Well, the potential is huge. Things like enhanced user privacy, genuine censorship resistance. Imagine a social media platform where no central company can just delete your account or posts. Potentially more efficiency because you remove intermediaries, maybe better security because the data is on an immutable blockchain, and global accessibility.
Sounds great, but what are the downsides? You mentioned risks.
Yeah, definitely. It's still very experimental tech. They can face scalability issues, getting slow or expensive when lots of people use them. User interfaces can still be clunky compared to traditional apps. Modifying the code or fixing bugs after deployment can be really hard because blockchains are immutable. And yeah, if the smart contracts aren't perfectly written and audited, they can have security holes that hackers exploit, like we talked about with those big losses.
Got it. Experimental, potential, but risky.
Exactly. Now, how does Coinbase Wallet help you navigate this dApp world? Well, it has several features that make it quite appealing. A big one is its multi-chain support. Unlike some competitors that focus heavily on Ethereum, Coinbase Wallet supports a really wide array of blockchains. We're talking beyond just Ethereum and EVM compatible chains. Those are chains that can run Ethereum-style smart contracts.
EVM.
Right. Coinbase Wallet also supports Bitcoin, Solana, Dogecoin, Polygon, Avalanche, Binance Smart Chain, lots of others. That versatility is a huge plus if you want to hold or interact with assets across many different networks without juggling multiple wallets.
So one wallet for lots of different types of crypto. That sounds useful.
It is. Users also frequently praise its user experience. It generally has a clean, pretty intuitive interface. It's available both as a mobile app and a browser extension. And anecdotally, many users report it just feels like it runs more smoothly than some alternatives.
Smoothers are good.
Yeah. It also has that essential built-in dApp browser. That's your window into interacting with all those decentralized applications, NFT marketplaces, crypto games, DeFi protocols, you name it. Plus, a neat little feature. You can set a personalized username, something like yourname.cb.id, which is way easier to share and use for transfers than those super long, complicated alphanumeric wallet addresses.
Oh, that's handy. Like an email address for your wallet.
Kind of, yeah. Makes things simpler.
So given all that, the obvious comparison point for many crypto folks is MetaMask. It's probably the most well-known wallet, right? How does Coinbase Wallet really stack up against MetaMask? Why might you choose one over the other, especially thinking about that multi-chain aspect versus maybe just sticking with Ethereum?
That's the classic comparison, definitely. They both function as popular hot wallets, but they have distinct differences that often push users one way or the other. A really big one, especially for crypto purists, is the open source ethos. MetaMask is fully open source. Anyone can inspect the code. That aligns really well with the core decentralization philosophy. Coinbase Wallet, on the other hand, is closed source. It's proprietary software from Coinbase. Some critics see that as less aligned with the crypto spirit.
So open versus closed source, that's a philosophical difference.
It is, for many, yes. Then there's the blockchain support we just touched on. MetaMask is primarily built for Ethereum and EVM compatible chains. It can connect to others, but it's not its native focus. Coinbase Wallet, as we said, has a much broader native multi-chain support built in from the get-go, Bitcoin, Solana, etc.
So if you're heavily into non-Ethereum chains, Coinbase Wallet might have an edge there.
Potentially, yes. In terms of user interface, both are generally considered user-friendly, but as I mentioned, there are quite a few reports suggesting Coinbase Wallet might feel a bit smoother or slicker in operation for some users.
Okay. And interacting with dApps.
This is where MetaMask often has the edge, especially within the Ethereum ecosystem. It's been around longer, it's incredibly widely used, and it's supported by pretty much every dApp on Ethereum and EVM chains. Coinbase Wallet certainly supports dApps through its browser, but it's maybe less universally integrated or popular for that specific interaction compared to MetaMask's dominance in the Ethereum world.
Right, so MetaMask is kind of the standard for Ethereum dApp.
Very much. Lastly, fees. Neither wallet charges you extra just for transferring crypto from your wallet to another wallet. You only pay the network transaction fees, the gas fees.
Okay, good to know.
But if you use their built-in swap or exchange features where you trade one crypto for another directly within the wallet interface, then they do charge fees. MetaMask currently takes a flat 0.875% fee for swaps. Coinbase Wallet's fees for its internal buying, selling, or swapping are variable, typically ranging from about 0.05% up to 0.60%.
So potentially cheaper swaps on Coinbase Wallet sometimes.
Potentially, depending on the specifics. So yeah, if broad multi-chain support and maybe a smoother UI are top priorities, Coinbase Wallet looks strong. If you're deep in the Ethereum world, value open source, and want maximum dApp compatibility there, MetaMask is still the go-to for many.
It's fascinating how those subtle differences, open source versus closed, primary chain focus can be such a big deal for users.
Yeah.
Really speaks to that underlying philosophy of decentralization, doesn't it?
It really does. It shows that even for tools doing a similar job, the approach and the values embedded in them matter a lot to the community.
Okay, let's pivot back to security, because this was clearly a big concern for our listener. They specifically asked, that's not a cold wallet, right? And they were worried about losing their bag, which, as they said, was not large to some, but large to me. That's totally relatable. Security is top of mind for everyone in crypto, and rightly so. What do we really need to know about keeping crypto safe in these wallets? And what's the actual difference between hot and cold?
Yeah, that's such an important question. And it goes right back to that core theme of personal responsibility in crypto, especially when it's your money, your bag, regardless of its size relative to others. It's significant to you. So the hot wallet versus cold wallet distinction is absolutely fundamental to understand. Hot wallets like Coinbase Wallet, like MetaMask, are called hot because they are connected to the internet. Your keys are managed on a device that's online. This makes them super convenient for making transactions quickly, interacting with dApps, etc. But because they're online, they are inherently more exposed to online threats.
Like hacking, phishing.
Exactly. Hacking, phishing scams, trying to trick you, malware on your computer or phone, all those online dangers. It's like keeping cash in your physical wallet, easy access, but more vulnerable if someone targets you.
Okay, so hot means online and convenient, but riskier. What about cold?
Cold wallets, most commonly hardware wallets, think devices like Ledger or Trezor, store your private keys completely offline. The keys are generated and stored on a secure chip within the physical device itself and never touch the internet directly. This provides a much, much stronger layer of security against online attacks. It's like keeping your gold bars or important documents in a secure bank vault or safe at home offline.
Much safer for long-term storage or larger amounts then.
Definitely. But here's a key insight. While cold wallets offer the best protection for storage, many hot wallets, including the Coinbase Wallet browser extension, can integrate with hardware wallets like Ledger. This lets you get the best of both worlds, in a way. You can manage your assets through the convenient Coinbase Wallet interface, but require confirmation on your offline hardware device to authorize any transaction. It adds that physical layer of security.
So you can connect them. That's useful.
Very useful for enhancing security, especially for significant holdings. Now, specifically for Coinbase Wallet itself, it does have several security features built in. First and foremost, remember it's self-custody. You control the private keys and that all-important recovery phrase. Coinbase, the company, literally cannot access your funds. That's a security feature in itself.
Right. Control equals responsibility.
Exactly. It also offers advanced security options like using biometrics, fingerprint, Face ID, setting up passwords, and security locks on the app. And when you're interacting with those potentially risky dApps, it gives you crucial transaction transparency. It has token approval alerts, so it clearly shows you exactly what permissions or assets a dApp is asking to access before you agree. And transaction previews, which estimate how your token balances will change before you hit confirm. This helps prevent nasty surprises or malicious approvals.
Seeing what a dApp wants before you approve. That sounds really important.
It's critical. Coinbase Wallet also has some enhanced guardrails. Things like dApp blocklists that will warn you if you try to connect to a site known to be malicious. And spam token management, you know how sometimes random dodgy tokens just appear in your wallet? It helps hide those, reducing clutter and potential scam vectors. And finally, permission management. It makes it pretty easy to go in and see which dApps you've connected to in the past and revoke those permissions if you're no longer using them. That minimizes your long-term exposure.
Revoking permissions, yeah, that seems smart, like cleaning up old app access on your phone.
Exactly the same principle. But, and this is the crucial takeaway for any self-custody wallet, hot or cold, its security is ultimately tied directly to the security of the device it's on your phone, your computer, and your own diligence. Strong passwords, avoiding phishing, keeping software updated, all that stuff matters hugely. You really are your own bank.
It's a sobering thought, isn't it? How much responsibility really does shift to the individual user.
Yeah.
But that also brings up questions about, well, oversight. If I'm using a decentralized wallet, embracing self-custody, does that mean regulatory bodies like, say, the IRS can't track my transactions? Does it feel more anonymous than using a centralized exchange?
That's a really common misconception, and it's vital we clear it up. While transactions on public blockchains, think Ethereum, Bitcoin, are often called pseudo-anonymous.
Pseudo-anonymous.
Yeah, meaning they're linked to a wallet address, which is just a string of characters not directly tied to your legal name in the transaction data itself. They are far from private in the way most people think of privacy. In fact, they are radically transparent. These transactions are publicly visible on the blockchain, anyone can look them up, and they are permanently recorded there. Forever.
Publicly visible. So not private at all then?
Not in the sense of being hidden, no. And the IRS, yes, they absolutely can track transactions. They work with specialized blockchain analytics firms, like Chainalysis is a big one. These firms are incredibly sophisticated at analyzing blockchain data and linking those supposedly anonymous wallet addresses back to real-world individuals, often by tracing flows to and from exchanges where people had to provide ID.
Wow, okay, so the idea of it being untraceable is just wrong.
Largely, yes. Regulators are paying very, very close attention to the entire crypto ecosystem. So it's absolutely crucial to remember your obligations. You are required to report all taxable cryptocurrency income, gains, losses, income received, from transactions made using hot wallets, cold wallets, exchanges. It doesn't matter. It's treated like other property or income.
So bottom line, pay your taxes.
Bottom line, understand the rules, keep good records, and meet your tax obligations. Transparency is key, regardless of how decentralized your wallet might feel.
Well, what a journey. From our listeners' initial kind of understandable confusion seeing those Trump coins, we really covered a lot of ground today. We've untangled those core differences between centralized exchanges like Coinbase and self-custody options like the Coinbase Wallet. We've stared into the sometimes scary world of meme coins and scams, compared the features of Coinbase Wallet, MetaMask, explored the exciting but risky universe of dApps. And I think most importantly, we've really hammered home that message. In this decentralized world, your knowledge and your personal responsibility, they're absolutely your best, your most valuable assets.
Definitely. And maybe a final thought to leave you with, given how incredibly fast this crypto space evolves. Think about it. Coinbase Wallet started as Toshi, focused on Ethereum dApps. Now we're seeing features like smart wallets aiming to potentially remove the need for seed phrases entirely, using things like biometrics or passkeys. So consider this. How will these rapid technological advancements continue to redefine our very understanding of ownership and security in the digital realm over the next few years? What new freedoms might emerge as this tech matures? And maybe what new responsibilities will come along with them as we move deeper into this world of radical self-custody? It's definitely something worth pondering as you continue your own learning journey in this space.
Great question to think about. The key takeaway, as always, seems to be do your own research, do your due diligence, stay informed, and engage with this fascinating technology responsibly. Thanks for diving deep into the crypto frontier with us today.